सुख में तुझको भूल न जावे, सुख में
नमस्ते।
नमस्ते जी।
क्या हाल है भला साहब?
ठीक है जी।
तुमसे वर पावे, प्रभु हम तुमसे वर पावे, प्रभु हम तुमसे वर पावे, सकल विश्व को आर्य बनावे, सकल विश्व को आर्य बनावे, हे प्रभु हम तुमसे वर पावे, प्रभु हम तुमसे वर पावे, हे प्रभु हम तुमसे वर पावे, हे प्रभु हम तुमसे। हे प्रभु हम तुमसे वर पावे, हे प्रभु हम तुमसे वर पावे, सकल विश्व को आर्य बनावे।
सबको सादर नमस्ते।
नमस्ते। नमस्ते शर्मा जी।
नमस्कार।
आपको सादर नमस्ते। टुडे इज March 21, March 21st, 2024, and today is Thursday, and so we are going to start our session on Sandhya Upasana and Mantra Swadhyaya. आप सभी लोगों का स्वागत है इस सेशन में, जो लोग भी हमसे जूम पे जुड़े हुए हैं या फेसबुक या यूट्यूब से जुड़े हुए हैं। तो आज के जो स्पीकर हैं वो नन्हे आर्या जी हैं। आई विल स्पॉटलाइट है।
थैंक यू।
नमस्ते अनन्या जी, आपका स्वागत है।
नमस्ते जी, धन्यवाद जी। I'll start.
क्या ये आपका परमानेंट स्विच है या कभी कभी होगा?
I think कभी कभी ही होगा, but I'll check with him for the next week if he wants Friday
या
for
ठीक है।
further sessions, then we can switch it permanently. Even I was thinking of that.
ओके ठीक। नहीं,
जी
मुझे ही कॉल्ड मी टुडे।
जी जी जी। चलिए, let's sit straight. Close our eyes gently. We'll chant Om 3 times. Inhale, and while exhaling, we'll chant Om. Inhale all the way up. Om. Again, inhale. Om. Once again. Om. Om Bhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Vargo Devasya Dhimahi धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये शंयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः। ॐ वाक् ॐ प्राणः प्राणः ॐ चक्षुः चक्षुः ॐ श्रोत्रं श्रोत्रम् ॐ नाभिः ॐ हृदयम् ॐ कण्ठः ॐ शिरः ॐ बाहुभ्यां यशोबलम् ॐ करतलकरपृष्ठे ॐ भुः पुनातु शिरसि ॐ भुवः पुनातु नेत्रयोः ॐ स्वः पुनातु कण्ठे ॐ महः पुनातु हृदये ॐ जनः पुनातु नाभ्याम् ॐ तपः पुनातु पादयोः ॐ सत्यं पुनातु पुनः शिरसि ॐ खं ब्रह्म पुनातु सर्वत्र ॐ भुः ॐ भुवः ॐ स्वः ॐ महः ॐ जनः ॐ तपः ॐ सत्यम् ॐ ऋतं च सत्यं चाभिधातपसोऽध्यजायत ततो रात्र्यजायत ततः समुद्रो अर्णवः ॐ समुद्रादर्णवादधी संवत्सरो अजायत अहोरात्राणि विदधद्विश्वस्य मिषतो वशी ॐ सूर्याचन्द्रमसौ धाता यथा पूर्वमकल्पयत् दिवं च पृथिवीं चान्तरिक्षमथो स्वः ॐ शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये शंयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः. Let's pause here for some time. Reflect upon the meanings of the mantras till this point. Pray in your own words. We started Sandhya with the prayer to seek both spiritual and worldly happiness. We pray to God with these mantras to give us the strength to keep our body healthy, to use our body parts in the right direction for the righteous fulfillment, for the benevolent deeds. Then we pray to God to guide us to keep them pure, to keep our mind, senses intellect pure, and with the pranayama mantra, we seek the strength, keep our vital air strong, healthy, and to use them as gateway to enter into the realm of mind and senses. Then we pray to God by focusing on His vast creation to stay away from all kinds of ills and evils at the level of thoughts, words, and actions. May we also become benevolent like that Supreme Being. प्राचीदिगग्निरधिपतिरसितो रक्षितादित्या ईशवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐ दक्षिणादिगिन्द्रोऽधिपतिस्तिरश्चिराजि रक्षिता पितर ईशवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐ प्रतीचेदिग्वरुणोऽधिपतिः प्रीदाको रक्षितान्नमिषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐ उदीचेदिक्सोमोऽधिपतिः स्वजो रक्षिता शनिऋषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐ ध्रुवादिग्विष्णुरधिपतिः कल्माषग्रीवो रक्षिता विरुधैषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो नक्षत्रेभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐ ऊर्ध्वादिग्बृहस्पतिरधिपतिः श्वित्रो रक्षिता वर्षमिषवः तेभ्यो नमोऽधिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं विश्वस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐ उद्वयं तामसस्परिस्वः पश्यन्त उत्तरं देवं देवत्रा सूर्यमगन्मज्योतिरुत्तमम् ॐ उदुत्यं जातवेदसं देवं वहन्ति केतवः दृशे विश्वाय सूर्यम् ॐ चित्रं देवानामुदगाधनीकं चक्षुर्मित्रस्य वरुणस्याग्नेः आप्राद्या पृथिवी अन्तरिक्षं सूर्य आत्मा जगतस्तस्थुषश्च स्वाहा ॐ तच्चक्षुर्देवहितं पुरस्तात् शुक्रमुच्चरत् पश्येम शरदः शतं जीवेम शरदः शतं शृणुयाम शरदः शतं प्रब्रवाम शरदः शतं अदीनः स्याम शरदः शतं भूयश्च शरदः शतात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् हे ईश्वर दयानिधे भवत्कृपयानेन जपोपासनादिकर्मणा धर्मार्थकाममोक्षाणां सद्यः सिद्धिर्भवेन्नः ॐ नमः शम्भवाय च मयो भवाय च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च ॐ शान्तिः 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 Let's rub our palm, cover our closed eyes, massage onto face, and take away our hands. Now moving on to our
I have to
mantra
make
part
you
4.
co-host first.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the mantra part for today. The last session, I started the mantra YAJJAAGRATO, and I have almost completed the mantra from the meaning perspective of that mantra. The mantra was, okay, I'll share it quickly. Yeah, I think you all can see.
Yes, we can see it.
So that was the mantra, which is the first mantra of the Shiv Sankalp Sup, wherein we pray to God for the noble thoughts and for the resolution of those noble thoughts, for the determination that may we remain determined, may we stick to the path of nobility, may we never deter from that path which we have decided for ourselves. So both is required. And when I concluded this mantra in the last session, we were at the point when I said that our mind is like the mirror, that even the costliest mirror cannot show the true and complete reflection if it is not clear, if it is soiled by dust, dirt or mist. So is true with our mind, that if our mind is sullied by the uncharitable thoughts towards others, if our mind is blurred by the troubles or the passing vexations of life, of annoyance, of irritation, of anger, of frustration, or if our mind is soiled by any upheavals of our consciousness or any ideas which are thrown onto us by this whirling world, till this time, this mind is not clear enough. We cannot see the entire reality of the world. This mind cannot mirror the entire reality. And the same thought is supported by a very beautiful Hindi bhajan, that the devotional song is, where it starts from प्राणी अपने प्रभु से पूछे किस विधि पाऊं तो है, wherein a devotee, a seeker, he asks to God that what is the way to attain you? How can I realize you? How can I experience you? How can I commune with you? So in that bhajan, that the God replies to his devotee, तू अपने मन को पाले पा जाएगा मोहे. That there is the path to reach to me, the path to realize me, it goes through your mind. That if you are able to conquer your mind, if your mind take instructions from you, if your mind is in your control, if you can, because we see this world through this mind only, and to see that supreme reality, we have to go beyond this mind, beyond the thoughts and emotions and feelings of this mind. Only then we can view the entire reality. And this mind will also show us the true reality only when it is cleared enough. So in that also, God, it's a allegoric way of saying that God replies that you first need to conquer over your mind. First need to take that in your control. Then for you, it will become easy to realize me. And then it says further, Tora man darpan kehlaye, that your mind is like a mirror. भले बुरे सारे कर्मों को देखे और दिखाए, that whatever you have done till now in your life, all your good and bad actions, everything resides in your mind. That if you will focus on there, that what you have done up till now, what are your merits and what are your demerits, what are your virtues and what are your vices, then that will show you where you are and what is the path further, how to go beyond this state where you are in the present moment, by improving upon our actions, by focusing on our actions, by focusing on good deeds. Then this bhajan says further, I'll not go into the each and every word, but what it says in essential is, मन उजियारा जब जब होए जग उजियारा होए. As when your mind becomes well lit, when it shines with knowledge, when it shines with stability, when you are able to focus your mind wherever you want to, of course on the noble actions, on the virtues, whenever it illuminates, then the world also illuminates the way it is in front of you, and only then you will be able to see me as well. Then you become able to realize me as well. And then it says that is ujale man par prani dhul na padne paye. So it also says the same words, that this should remain clear. Now the question again comes back, that how to clear our mind. There are multiple ways, by gaining knowledge, by practicing truth, by making a resoluted mind, by cultivating virtues, by doing the practice of disidentifying our mind from the from this body, or by identifying ourselves different from this mind and body. So there are multiple ways, multiple practices. One of the way is by gaining knowledge, by increasing our database, and that we already are doing that. The more and more we know, the more and more we go near the reality if we put it in practice. And there are three ways to have access to the direct knowledge of that from that supreme source. Of course, we learn from our teachers, from our scholars. That's one way. We read various books, various religious books. That's also another way to gain knowledge. And one of the way is, but there are three ways in which we can have access to that supreme knowledge, to that pure knowledge from the direct source. Direct source, when I say, so that is from the God. First is his Shrut Kavya, second is his Drisht Kavya. Drisht Kavya means whatever darshan, dekhna, from that this word has come Drisht, whatever is seen. So this entire creation is its Drisht Kavya. We can learn a lot by from his creation, the way he has created it, the sun, the moon, how they move in their orbits, how they do not violate their laws, they always move in, they always revolve in definite orbits in discipline. And by looking at this earth, how tolerant it is. And there are many other ways. I'll not go into that detail at this moment because that will take a lot of time. So, and that's what we do in Sandhya as well, when we focus our mind on the various parts of its creation. That makes us realize his omniscience, his omnipotence, his supreme power. That also inspires us to appreciate, to glorify his power, his knowledge. Second way is Shrut Kavya, which we all know in the form of Vedas. That whatever, all the arrangements, all the principles, the qualities and properties of various things in this world, of this body, of the soul, of God, of about the various subjects, various streams, be it physics, chemistry, music, any stream you talk about, the entire knowledge is lies in the seed form. It is there in the Vedas. So by reading that, by understanding that, by understanding our knowledge base, maybe through the scholars, we increase our knowledge. Whatever is given in there by that supreme God. The third way is by listening to his inner voice, by listening to his pious voice. Because we also know that many a times we get the flashes of knowledge. We get those noble thoughts which we many a times miss out generally, but we get them at the right moment. Many a times we get that inspiration from inside. And it is also said in the bhajan that वो तो अंदर से समझा रहा है हमें, हम समझना ना चाहें तो वो क्या करे. Means that inner inspiration is continuously there, but it depends upon us that how much we are competent enough to listen to that voice. But the question arises that if that inner voice is there, if that knowledge is, that flash of knowledge is there, still when many a times we tend towards the ills and evil actions, we tend toward devious paths, we are not straight enough. Many a times we try to hide the things or suppress the truth, or we are not very much sincere, because many a times it happens in the spur of the moment. We even don't realize that what we have done. Many a times different things are going on in our mind, but we speak differently. Many a times we think that to make a good routine, to maybe getting up early in the morning, but we end up with the same old pattern. So the question arises, if that inner inspiration is there, then how to listen to that, how to have access to that. And at the same breath, if I talk about those people who are totally on this evil path, who are thieves, who are robbers, who are evil persons, don't they get that inner voice? Because if God just is same for all, if his knowledge is same for all, if everybody has the same access to him, or like terrorists, etc., don't they get that inner voice? And the same is true for our habit patterns too, that we are not able to listen to that. So it is said that if that habit pattern is not strong enough, when we tend towards any evil or ill tendency in the beginning, we get to listen to that voice, because we have also observed, for example, not at this point of time, but when we were in the childhood state, or uh, in a state of time when we were young, many a times, for example, if one tends to speak a lie, or one tends to grab others' things, so we get that inner voice, we get that inner warning from inside that we should not do it. That what I am going to do, what I am going to speak, that is not right. That we should hold it back. So, and in many other uh, points of life also, we get that inner voice that we should not do this, we should not speak this, that we should not behave like this, that we should not react, we should have some patience, we should try to ignore this particular situation, but we are not capable enough to do that. So, but in the beginning, we get that inner voice. But let's take the example of a thief. When he goes first time to steal something, he get that inner voice that that he should not do that. But for one reason or the other reason, if he overrides that voice, maybe due to some helplessness, maybe um, he was forced to do that, maybe he was given some lure to do that. If he overrides that voice and he does it repeatedly, then that voice stop coming to him, and his habit pattern, his impression of doing that same work becomes so hard coded that it becomes hard for him to override that, to come out of that situation. And this is true every uh, for every body part. For example, that's the way this mind also works. For example, if first time we feed a spicy food to a child, he may not be much tolerant to that food. For example, as compared to us, we can easily eat spicy food, but for a child, it is difficult. But if that child is made to eat that food over and over, he becomes used to it. He becomes habitual to have that food, and that doesn't seem to him much spicy. As we see that even American people, that they do not eat much spicy food compared to us. So same food, we don't find it much spicy, but they people, because our tongue has become used to it. Similarly, you have seen that when a mother cooks food and he cooks chapati on the hot tawa, on the hot pan, in the beginning, if a girl learns that, it becomes hard for her to flip the chapati with the bare hands. But over time, with practice, it becomes easy, because her fingers become insensitive to that. And it becomes easy because our fingers get used to that level of hotness of that pan. Similarly, we can take another example. For example, if somebody is taking a medicine for a particular disease, if in the initial times uh, the disease is in control by taking one dose, but with time, if there is If the person do not follow any control on his diet, then he has to take more and more doses of that diet, of that medicine, to cure his illness. So what I want to say in essence is that our body starts to become insensitive towards that which we do repeatedly. Our body become used to that. Same is true for our mind, our thoughts, and our actions and our emotions. That if I tend towards a particular thing which is not right, which is unrighteous, in the beginning it is hard, it is little hard. In the beginning we get that inner voice, but over time, by doing it repeatedly, if we if we are on the path of ignorance, if we are on the path of false knowledge, we ignore that ignore the truth, we override that truth, and we become used to do that over and over, and that becomes hard coded in our mind as the impressions. That's why we do not able to listen to that inner voice. So what I mean to say here is that voice is there, that warning is there, that alert is there, but we have become insensitive towards that. We have become unattentive towards that. We have become unconscious of that truth. We have become unconscious or unaware of that warning. As I gave you the example of the body parts, that they also become insensitive with the repetitive working of with the repetition of any action. So now, to overcome of that situation of our mind, to override that situation, so that we can come back to in that situation, we can listen to that inner voice. We need to thoroughly clean our mind. We need to thoroughly purify our mind. That's what the example of that mirror also says, that we need to deep delve into the thoughts of our mind. We need to scan our thoughts thoroughly. And that will happen with self introspection, that will happen with contemplation, because in the spur of the moment, we speak, we think the way we want to, and we have no control over that because of that strong habit pattern. But when we sit with ourselves, when we scan our thoughts thoroughly, when we self introspect, what I did yesterday, why did I behave in that way? Could I have been more patient? Could I have let go of that situation? Could I have handled the situation in a different way? When we delve into those thoughts deeply, when we scan them thoroughly, when we become conscious of what I did wrong and what I did not do right, when I start to admit where I was wrong, what was going on in my mind, what was that particular thing that disturbed me due to which I reacted, how can I do it in a better way the next time? When we do that deep cleaning, and one day will not help, with multiple sittings, with multiple repetitions, because as we have developed that habit pattern by repeatedly doing the wrong actions, by repeatedly thinking in the wrong direction, we need to correct it by multiple sitting, by multiple contemplation, by thinking and pondering over it over and over and over. That's why the importance of doing contemplation, of doing meditation, of doing self introspection on a daily basis, so that we can clean our thoughts. And when that particular moment comes, then we come into that situation that we can listen to that inner voice, we can listen to that inner warning, we can listen to that pious voice of God. No, this is not the right thing, let's hold back, don't do it, otherwise I have to regret it again. So that's the way, by gaining knowledge, by we can gain that knowledge, we can have access to that knowledge, and we can override our habit patterns. Because many a times we do that atmadro, we can give multiple justifications for our behavior, because that's the nature of the soul, that we that we have a sense of affection towards ourselves, and it becomes hard to admit and to correct and to realize our mistakes. So through this method, by contemplating over it over and over, we can come out of those habit patterns, and we can have access to that inner voice along with what we listen, what we read every day. This helps us to thoroughly clean our mind. So this is one of the way, and of course there are many other aspects to contemplation as well, which we will discuss in the further sessions. That's all I have for today. If you have any questions, you can ask.
If you have any questions, you
Bando.
can ask. Please.
This is okay for the people who are grown up and who are matured enough. But what about dealing with the children who are always distracted and unable to focus? Anything we have this with our children. Is any other way, easy way? For that?
For children, I think again, I can take that topic for next session. But for children as well, there are multiple ways to instill those values, because for them the environment matters a lot. The environment in which they live, the kind of people they live with, because they are a very good observers. Children are generally very good observers, and what they observe, that has a deep imprint into their life. For example, for a child, it is well said, if we ask them, uh, be it with their teachers or be it with their parents or be it with any elders they are with, because they do not have their, as you say, they are not matured enough to think for themselves. But what they learn a lot from their surroundings, from their environment, from their company, and especially from their elders. If a if a parent asks a children not to watch TV, right? They may not listen to that instruction, but what parent or what an elder who is in his uh, uh, who is surrounding in his company, if he himself has control, the way he deals with the thing, the child eventually starts to copy that. He also starts to follow that. And there are other multiple ways also, but that will take a long time. So that's one of the way children can be taught.
Any other
Because that
questions, please?
we keep worrying too much about that. That also becomes a very problem for us also. So we force it. So it is not good to force the children or force them.
Yeah, force does not help much, but yes, because forcing them may not instill the right reasoning, and because the first thing is to make them understand logically and with a good reasoning. But even if they don't listen to many a times, I think we have to let them learn through their own uh, mistakes as well. So I think depending upon the child, depending upon the situation, we have to take multiple ways. And sometimes punishment also helps. Sometimes they need to be treated with love, with logic, and sometimes we have to leave them on their discretion as well, so that they can learn through their own mistakes. So I think multiple things work in the multiple situations. We need to analyze the situation.
Thank you, Dhanyawad.
Ananya ji, namaste. I often use one sentence. I want to make sure this is relating to this topic. We are talking, listening to his voice. Is it appropriate to say prayer is speaking to God, meditation is listening to God?
I think because prayer also means opening your heart out to Him, wherein you, I mean, speak in your mind, not verbally. Yes, we open out our heart, we express our emotions. And when you say, and I think when we are able to silent our minds, when we are able to calm down our mind, when the restlessness goes away, then that inner voice, that we get the solutions, right? We, yes, I think we are able to, because what happens, why this taking out time for meditation, जिस तरह से हम दिन में दौड़ लगाते रहते हैं, we are so preoccupied, our mind is so engaged, we are not able to think through कि क्या ठीक किया, क्या गलत किया. We are not able to remind ourselves that what I'm doing is right or wrong. So we need to calm down, tone down what's going on in mind, and I think then we are become able to listen to that voice. We can say that in that way. Yeah.
Dhanyavad.
Ji.
Just a small clarification. In Prarthana mantra, there is a one here, Atmada, Balada. So the Atmada means the same thing as you were saying, the inner voice.
No, not exactly, because Atmada, the meaning there is that who is the giver of the knowledge of self. So basically, there, जो हमारी आत्मा को देने वाला है, right? In that sense, it
ज्ञान
is
को
you,
देने वाला.
because who helps us reach to the to realize our own self, that who am I? And I think listening to that inner voice can help us reach there, but that is not exactly the same. बिल्कुल same meaning तो नहीं है.
अच्छा, ठीक है.
Because
That's all.
हाँ, जी.
Thank you.
Any other? No. चलिए फिर शांति पाठ कर दीजिए. Then we'll close the session.
ॐ द्यौ शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः.
अनन्या जी, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जुड़ने के लिए, प्रवचन देने के लिए, और सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद जो सेशन में जुड़े हैं या वॉच कर रहे हैं यूट्यूब और फेसबुक पे. There are no further programs today by EPSA. So I will see everyone tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. सबको again namaste, and I will close the session now.